afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. Another busy news day. We're going to head to Milwaukee now, where the police department there is holding a news conference with the latest on the shooting at Molson Coors yesterday. Actually, we're going to get to that in a minute. We are awaiting that press conference with the Milwaukee Police Department regarding yesterday's shooting at the Molson Coors Brewery. We'll bring you that once it happens.
As the investigation continues, the city of Milwaukee is beginning to mourn. Our Christina Laurie has reaction from residents not far from the scene.
And coronavirus remains dominant in the headlines. We'll share the latest, as well as talk to experts about how it could impact you and your retirement.
Now let's go to the news conference in Milwaukee and listen in.
This is the Milwaukee Police Chief. We are awaiting for this news conference to start. They are giving an update on the investigation of the
Good afternoon.
shooting.
I'm joined here with the leadership of Molson Coors, with Mayor Tom Barrett, Sheriff Ernell Lucas, and myself, Chief Alfonso Morales. We're here today because 6 families lost their loved ones. And we have 5 victims that we'll be identifying today. Those 5 victims, number 1, Jesus Valle, 33-year-old resident of Milwaukee. Jean Levschetz, 51-year-old resident of Mequon. Trevor Wetzler, 33-year-old resident of Milwaukee. Dana Walk, a 57-year-old resident of Delafield. And Dale Hudson, a 50-year-old resident of Waukesha. Now, we identify the suspect, and he is Anthony Farrell, a 51-year-old resident of Milwaukee. He was a current employee of Molson Coors at the time of this incident. Reasons for this is still under investigation of what transpired, and we don't have that for you. But I do want to extend my condolences to the families of these victims, and my condolences to the entire family and staff of Molson Coors. I ask of you, the public and the media, that we are respectful of these families during this time. As you all know, there are a lot of things that they have to take in, digest, prepare funerals, and wait for additional family to come into town. So please respect them. I'm sure you'll know their addresses. I'm sure you know where they live, but please give them that respect.
Thank you, Chief. I'm Gavin Hattersley, CEO of Molson Coors Beverage Company. Again, I'd like to thank the Milwaukee Police Department, the Milwaukee Fire Department, Mayor Barrett, and all the state and local officials for their support during such an awful time for us. Today, 18,000 Molson Coors employees are grieving over yesterday's shooting that took the lives of 5 members of our family here in Milwaukee. And as the Chief said, they were Dale Hudson, Jean Levschetz, Jesse Valle, Dana Walk, and Trevor Wetzler. They were powerhouse operators, they were machinists, and they were electricians. But more importantly, they were husbands, they were fathers, and they were friends. They were part of the fabric of our company and our community, and we will miss them terribly. Now, I've spent the day speaking with the families of the victims and meeting with our employees here in Milwaukee, because they are our single and number 1 priority at the moment. And it's really impossible to understand and imagine what they're going through at the moment, the loss that they have incurred and the pain that they are feeling at the moment. and our focus right now is on supporting them as best as we can. Over the past 24 hours, we've received countless messages from across the beer industry, from around the country, and from people in every neighborhood of Milwaukee to offer their support, to share their condolences, and to be there for the Molson Coors family. On behalf of everyone at Molson Coors, I want to thank everybody who has taken the time to show their support for our employees and for the city of Milwaukee. Thank you.
Our families are hurting. The Molson Coors families are hurting. The Miller families are hurting. Our city is hurting. And what's most important right now is that we as a community come together and put our arms around these grieving families. It is important, as the chief said, to give them privacy, and we should respect that privacy. But we should also recognize that they are going to need our help as a community, because they've gone through something that no one ever wants to go through. A sudden, tragic, unexpected, unbelievable loss of life. It is really difficult to put words into how all of us feel right now, because this is not something we ever expect to see happen in this community or any place in this country. Miller and Molson Coors are a very important part of this community. For over a century and a half, they've been part of the fabric of this community, and they've been there for us, and it's now time for us to be there for them as well. God bless these families, and God bless the city of Milwaukee. Thank you all for coming.
Mayor, can you address the widespread comments about a possible racial motive here?
Right now, there's an investigation going on. I think it's premature to speculate on anything. I think this is the time to, again, be there to grieve and to support the families. I'm sure there'll be time in the future to talk about many things involving this investigation.
Anything
Thank you very much.
There that you can tell us, or
We've been watching a live news conference from the Milwaukee Police Department with the CEO of Molson Coors and Mayor Barrett also expressing their condolences.
And the Milwaukee Police Chief, Alfonso Morales. They mentioned the names of the 5 victims and of the shooter, so now the investigation is moving forward. And U.S. and state flags are at half-staff right now across our state as Wisconsin mourns yesterday's mass shooting in Milwaukee. Governor Tony Evers made the order this morning. The flags will remain at half-staff until sundown. This is one of at least 11 mass shootings that we've seen here in Wisconsin over the past 16 years. A mass shooting is defined as an incident where 3 or more people are killed. The most recent happened last July when a man fatally shot his family and a stranger in Chippewa Falls. In March of 2017, a 45-year-old gunman killed 4 people, including a family lawyer in Marathon County. 2 years before that, 3 people were killed by a shooter with a history of mental illness on a trail in the Fox Cities. 6 people were killed and 4 were injured in a hate crime at the Oak Creek Sikh Temple in August of 2012. And in October of that year, a man motivated by a domestic dispute killed his estranged wife and 2 of her co-workers before turning the gun on himself at a spa in Brookfield. At least 5 other mass shootings happened across the state from 2004 to 2008.
And several Milwaukee area businesses are trying to help the families of the victims. McBob's Pub and Grill on the city's North Avenue is donating $1 to the families of the victims for each Molson Coors product sold. The pub will also donate funds from its St. Patrick's Day breakfast. And Wisconsin Harley-Davidson in Oconomowoc is collecting donations for the families affected as well.
Some of Milwaukee's biggest sports stars are responding to yesterday's shooting. Milwaukee Brewers outfielder Christian Yelich called the incident heartbreaking and a tragedy for the entire Brewers team. They all posed for a picture at their spring training headquarters holding a banner reading "Milwaukee Strong." The Milwaukee Bucks also shared their support for the families of the victims, saying, "We join the entire Milwaukee area in expressing our sadness."
The city of Milwaukee continues to grieve in the wake of the shooting. Christina Laurie was in Milwaukee this morning and shares how people in that city are reacting.
You don't have to look far here in Milwaukee to see the word Miller stamped everywhere, from Miller Park to the Miller plant where the mass shooting happened yesterday. For that reason, the tragedy really hit home.
When I come home, this is the street that I drive, so.
People like Glenda Mitchell,
Me and my daughter, we live over here.
who was walking outside the Coors plant early Thursday morning,
How does someone feel like that's their only choice?
questioning how this could happen in her own backyard.
It's heartbreaking to me.
Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett is calling the mass shooting, the 11th in Wisconsin since 2004, the saddest day in the Miller Valley.
We are grieving. The families are grieving. The union brothers and sisters are grieving. Our city is grieving. And our state is grieving.
Molson Coors, a Wisconsin giant for 165 years, continues to operate as one of the country's largest breweries and packaging and distribution centers.
We're a family here at Molson Coors in Milwaukee, and this is an unthinkable tragedy for us.
But for the folks that live here, it's home.
Unfortunately, right now, there's stories that pop up of this situation happening, and, you know, we think it's a over there problem or an over there thing. And everybody in Milwaukee was reminded it's right here.
The Milwaukee community will come together tonight to honor the lives of the 5 people killed yesterday here at the Miller Coors plant. A vigil is scheduled to be held at the Ridge Community Church at 7 o'clock. That church is located on 108th Street.
That is Christina Laurie reporting, and we'll continue following the events in Milwaukee as they come to us. Stay tuned to News 3 Now and channel3000.com for the latest updates.
The other big story today, Congress is hashing out a funding plan to respond to the coronavirus as California deals with what could be the first case of community transmission of the deadly virus.
CBS's Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
This is a rapidly evolving.
California officials revealed only minimal details about what is believed to be the first case of community transmission of coronavirus in the U.S., meaning the patient was probably infected by someone in the general population.
We know that there were a number of days that she was in her community and that she then did begin accessing care.
The female patient is in isolation at UC Davis Medical Center in Sacramento, and health officials are trying to trace her contacts.
Step by step, we look at where they've been, and who they might have been in direct communication with.
This is the 15th case to originate in the U.S. The other 14 cases involved either people who traveled to China or who had close contact with an infected patient. Thursday, Vice President Pence met with his coronavirus task force. He named Dr. Debbie Bricks as the White House response coordinator.
The president has no higher priority than the health and safety of the American people.
Congress is working on a bill to fund the federal emergency response to coronavirus, and both Republicans and Democrats say now is not the time to play politics.
We're coming close to a bipartisan agreement, and the Congress says how we can go forward with a number that is a good start.
Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is pointing a finger at the Chinese government.
If China would have allowed our doctors and our scientists in earlier, the world would be safer.
Congress is set to receive a 4th briefing on the coronavirus from the Trump administration on Friday. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The new California case is prompting officials to take another look at testing protocols. And a little later this hour on Live at 4, Dr. Nasia Safdar, the medical director of infectious control and prevention at UW Health, will be our guest here in the studio.
And that virus news sent stocks plummeting on Wall Street for a 3rd straight day. The Dow Industrials dropped 1,190 points, ending the day at 25,766. The NASDAQ fell a whopping 414 points. The S&P 500 lost 137.
The number of abortions performed in Wisconsin has increased for a 2nd straight year after 8 years of decline. Those are the findings of an annual report from the State Department of Health Services. The report says abortions increased 7% in 2018 and 2017. The report does not attempt to explain the increase, which came despite no loosening of state laws related to abortions.
Democratic presidential hopefuls are spread out across the country campaigning ahead of Saturday's South Carolina primary. Bernie Sanders marched his supporters to the polls in North Carolina today to vote early. It's one of 14 Super Tuesday states voting March 3rd, along with American Samoa. Senator Sanders enters the next series of contests as the frontrunner.
The establishment is getting very nervous.
I do believe the time has come for us to coalesce around an alternative to Senator Sanders.
Former Vice President Joe Biden is counting on South Carolina as his firewall. He's opened a double-digit lead in a new Monmouth poll of Palmetto State voters. Billionaire Mike Bloomberg campaigned in Texas today. He is banking on Super Tuesday when he'll appear on the ballot for the first time. But while Democrats are divided over the still crowded field, Republicans are trying to unify their base at an annual Conservative Political Action Conference. President Trump will once again try to upstage Democrats appearing in South Carolina on the eve of that state's Democratic primary.
Well, still to come at 4, we turn the calendar this Sunday. March comes marching in.
So it's time to start thinking about Christmas. At least toy manufacturers are. We'll visit the toy fair and find out what's new in the world of toys when we come back.
The world awaits in your new Jeep from Don Miller. It's the President's Day event on now. The tradition carries on with the new Jeep Wrangler. Get your own Don Miller deal plus rebates and incentives up to $5,500 off select remaining 2019 Jeep Wranglers. No day is the same in your new 2020 Jeep Gladiator. You'll get up to $2,000 bonus cash plus your own Don Miller deal on select 2020 Jeep Gladiators. The President's Day event on now at Don Miller, Madison and Dane Counties Jeep Headquarters, Odana Road, Madison.
Don Miller. We are the Thrivers. Women with metastatic breast cancer. Standing in the struggle. Hustling through the hurt. Asking for science, not sorries. Our time for more time has come. Living longer is possible and proven in women taking Kisqali plus fulvestrant or a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor. Kisqali is the only treatment in its class with proven overall survival results in 2 clinical trials, helping women live longer with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali was also significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious liver problems and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. It's our time to continue to shine because we are the Thrivers. Ask your doctor about Kisqali, the only treatment in its class proven to help women live longer in 2 clinical trials.
It's perfect. Thank you for choosing our home. Here's a list of our favorite spots to help you live like a local. And here is our Spectrum Wi-Fi password and a channel guide to help you settle in.
Did you say Spectrum?
Experience the fastest starting speeds for the price with Spectrum Internet. At 200 megabits per second, you'll enjoy faster surfing, streaming, and gaming. Switch to Spectrum Internet for $44.99 a month. Call 833-902-4499. Then lose yourself in the best in entertainment with more HD and more free on demand. With thousands of free titles to choose from and the best in live TV, there's always something on. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Plus, download the Spectrum TV app for more ways to watch. Call 833-902-4499.
It happened again. You guys were supposed to leave yesterday.
Is that my robe?
Is it?
Lose yourself in the best internet and TV with Spectrum. Switch now from $44.99 a month each, all with no contracts. Call 833-902-4499.
It's only February, but toy makers are already gearing up for the holiday season.
Thousands of new toys will be hitting the market this year, from a flying pixie to a marshmallow blaster and even a sloth that can do the floss dance. The Toy Insider's Lori Schacht says Baby Yoda from the Disney Mandalorian series will be everywhere.
I think people are going to be fighting over Baby Yoda.
I do.
The Force is going to be with them.
The Force is definitely with them.
Officially called The Child, Mattel has a plush toy coming out this spring and a smaller version for the fall. Hasbro will have its own $25 toy that moves in the spring. And there are plenty of toys to stimulate learning, like this robot that kids build themselves, or this mega cyborg hand with hydraulics that respond to touch.
Hey, we need one of those around here.
That's pretty cool. Well, the spread of the coronavirus around the world has created a lot of uncertainty in the stock market.
And this has left a lot of people wondering what to do with their retirement. Moses Altsek from the UW School of Business is here to answer some of those questions. Welcome back.
Hi, Moses. Good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Are you sure you don't want to keep talking about toys? That sounds like a more fun
It certainly
topic.
does. It's been a rough week on Wall Street. It's down over 10%, the Dow.
It's been a rough week, actually. It's the fourth time that you've had this kind of correction since the 1970s. So people are not really used to seeing this kind of movement in the stock market.
You call it a correction. Is that a kind term for a disaster?
Correction is the accurate term for it, but you know, obviously, if you're looking at your investments and have a heart condition, maybe you shouldn't be looking at your investments. You know, the thing is that it affects people differently, right? And the person who was hoping to retire before too long is now thinking, hold on, what's happening to my retirement savings? Hopefully those people heard me the last time I was here, and I told them not to be overexposed to the stock market if they're getting closer to retirement. So the people who are further away from retirement really, should not worry. And, I'm exaggerating about the fact that, I'm terrified, I don't want to look at my investments. In fact, I know how my investments are going. They're going down the tubes, but I'm not worried about it because they're going to come right back, and they will. Sooner, later, it doesn't matter. If I could predict it, I'd be running the world from my beach house in Turks and Caicos, right? But they're coming back up.
But the coronavirus situation seems to be getting more dire all the time.
That's right. And when I say they're coming back up, I don't mean next week or the week after that. If anything, the coronavirus is a health, I don't know, they're not calling it a pandemic yet, but it's getting there. There's a financial pandemic that comes with the coronavirus too. And that is going to outlast the health emergency because some of the manufacturing slowdown, some of the consumer confidence, some of, eventually there's going to be some layoffs if this thing sort of keeps up. World economies are intertwined. So we're going to feel the economic impact. And the companies that are not selling shorts or windbreakers or whatever today, that money's gone. The season is going to be a different season. People will be buying different clothes down the road. So the lost revenue from sporting events that are canceled, a marathon here and there, all that revenue is not coming back. But so the economic effect will feel longer than the coronavirus health crisis itself. But it's going to go away. And things are going to come back more slowly, and this is not going to be a great year economy-wise. People are speculating that there may be a recession, and that's not out of the question. It didn't look like that a couple of months ago, but, expect the unexpected, I guess.
Is this shades of 2007, 2008?
It could be. I don't think it's going to be as severe and as long-lasting, quite frankly, because there were some structural issues with the economy.
That was more self-inflicted.
In that time, so it was a different situation. Certainly, however, this is not just a matter of consumer confidence, right? I mean, if somebody's not manufacturing parts for a product that you make, that by the time that production ramps up, it takes time. Or if a restaurant goes out of business because it doesn't have enough sort of customers, that restaurant is gone. It's not coming back as soon as people feel free to go out and about and eat again. So we haven't felt this in the United States yet. We haven't encouraged people to stay home. We haven't closed schools. But there are plans, and I'm glad there are plans for how to deal with that if it gets to that. Hopefully it won't get to that, but if it does, it helps to be prepared. This too shall pass, as they say, and it's not just a way of making ourselves feel better. It's really true. But it's going to take a little while, and we're going to work through it. The economic impact, however, it's going to be unmistakable. It's not the stock market you see every day, right? But there's the other economic sort of factors that are affected by this. You're going to feel that impact a little more slowly. There's going to be a lag, and it's going to be a little more long-lasting. But, you know, we've gone through recessions before. We've gone through health emergencies. If this is the wake-up call that helps us invest in preparedness for pandemics in the future, it might be worth it, actually.
Some good might come out of it.
Yeah, let's hope so.
It's going to be a rough year. Moses, thanks for being with us today.
It's my pleasure. I wish I had better news.
I do, too. There's more to come at 4, including a look at what's going on this weekend in the 608.
And Chris Reese is back with a full look at your forecast featuring a mild start to next week. Till then.
Take an extra day to save during the last stretch of the Mattress Marathon at Ashley Home Store's 72-hour Leap Day sale. Save up to 70% off doorbuster mattresses during this final week, including our best deal of the year on brands like Tempur-Pedic and iComfort. Leap Day weekend only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
It's incredible. It's award-winning. It's the new Ram 1500 at Don Miller. With the President's Day event on now, there's great selection. The new Ram 1500, it's Green Car Journal's 2019 and 2020 Green Truck of the Year. Lease a new 2020 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn 4x4 for only $279 a month plus taxes and fees, 39 months, 10,000 miles per year, $34.99 due at signing. See salesperson for details. The President's Day event on now at Don Miller, your Madison truck headquarters.
Don Miller.
Once weekly Ozempic is helping many people with type 2 diabetes like James lower their blood sugar. A majority of adults who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
Here's your A1C.
Oh, my A1C is under 7.
And you may lose weight. Adults who took Ozempic lost on average up to 12 pounds.
I lost almost 12 pounds.
Oh.
For those also with known heart disease, Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attack, stroke, or death.
It lowers the risk.
Oh.
And I only have to take it once a week.
Oh. Ozempic is not for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Once weekly Ozempic is helping me reach my blood sugar goal.
You may pay as little as $25 per prescription. Ask your healthcare provider today about once weekly Ozempic.
The new iPhone 11 runs on Straight Talk without a contract and a plan that's up to half the cost of big carriers. With the new ultra-wide camera, your shareable moments are ultra-shareable. Because you're on a network that's more than just big talk. The new iPhone 11. Now get the unlimited plan for just $45 a month on America's best 4G LTE networks. Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less.
Buy like a builder during Furniture and Appliance Mart's 72-hour Leap Day appliance sale. This weekend, you pay what the builders pay, which means savings up to 50% off, plus a free 10-year warranty and free delivery. Leap Day weekend only at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
Well, take a look at this. A professional glass installer in Houston tried out the role of highway hero by putting an end to a police chase. Jose Cruz was driving his glass installation truck when he spotted the chase coming up behind him. All the drivers were getting out of the way, but not Cruz. He decided to hit the brakes, using his truck to box in the suspect. That allowed the police to move in and arrest the guy who had led them on a multi-jurisdictional pursuit. Cruz's work vehicle suffered some minor damage, but his boss says he's not worried about it. There you go. Way to stop those heights.
Yeah, good for him.
If that's
your
not
hometown.
The most Houston thing. I always tell folks, if you want good news, like, you know, action, excitement, go to Houston because there's a police chase every day, it seems like.
And Jose's out to stop it.
Well, you know, we need more of that. But I'll tell you what.
We need warmer weather is what we need.
I was going to say a little piece of Houston comes our direction as we go through the weekend. We're talking warmer temperatures and even rain in the forecast. Don't go anywhere. I'll have it all coming up right after.
Now,
a WISC-TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinan.
Feeling safe, however we define that, is a fundamental human need. Safety, on the other hand, is a universal shared concern. We all want to be safe in our communities, in our homes, and in regards to our own health. The coronavirus is testing our ability to ensure our safety. A number of months into the spread of the infectious disease, it is still a very fluid situation. And we need to balance steps we can and should take to protect ourselves and the temptation to overreact. Travel should be appropriately constrained, perhaps, but not necessarily avoided. Be aware of possibilities for having come in contact with someone at risk. More importantly, let elected leaders know we need them to push for a coordinated global strategy to contain the spread of the disease, including spending more on making sure enough masks, diagnostic kits, medical care, and the like are available. We need to be and act smart to stay safe.
The Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. 0 due-it signing, plus no payments for 90 days, plus 0% for 66 months. Drive this 2020 Kia Sportage for $264 per month. It's the Russ Darrow Madison Kia Auto Show Plus event on Odana Road in Madison.
Take an extra day to save at Ashley Home Store's 72-hour Leap Day sale. This Saturday through Monday with a Preview Day Friday. Get our biggest discounts of the year store-wide. Line up early Saturday for a free gift. Save up to 70% off furniture and doorbusters throughout the store. Plus an extra 20% off our sale prices. That's our best bonus deal of the year. And don't miss the final days of Mattress Marathon with huge savings on sleep store-wide. Leap Day weekend only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Joint pain, swelling, tenderness.
My psoriasis. Cosentix works on all of this.
Cosentix treats the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis to help you look and feel better. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur.
Watch me.
Get real relief with Cosentix.
The Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. 0 due-it signing, plus no payments for 90 days, plus 0% for 66 months. Drive this 2020 Kia Sportage for $264 per month. It's the Russ Darrow Madison Kia Auto Show Plus event on Odana Road in Madison.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, it's been that cold northerly wind that's been sticking with us as we've gone through today. It's kept a lot of those temperatures into the 20s, and we're going to keep that around as we move into tomorrow as well. The flurries associated with this, folks, those have stretched all the way down into parts of Kentucky, and then earlier today, there are some flurries as far south as places such as Birmingham, Alabama. But I like to focus on this feature right here across the high plains. That is indeed a warm front that moves our direction as we head into the weekend. So with beautiful clear skies out there right now, we'll stay colder to end of the week. I will keep this promise around. I believe you will like this weekend. And then we will be watching the rain chances, especially as we move towards early next week, and just what some of the latest trends are with those. Now tonight, skies begin to become partly cloudy. We'll see those overnight lows falling down towards about 11 degrees or so. Some areas as you work your way further towards the north will be into the single digits, but what's going to keep us just a little warmer in Madison is we're going to be right on the edge of the cloud cover. So as you work your way south and west of Madison, you have a better chance of seeing some flurries as we go through the rest of this afternoon. Pay attention to tomorrow. We keep the northwesterly wind around. Because of that, we're staying into the upper 20s for those highs. But something happens overnight tomorrow into Saturday that I want to highlight. So I'm stopping the clock at 2:30 in the morning. Here we are with those winds coming out of the west. And then by the time the sun comes up on Saturday, these winds are out of the south and west. I say it all the time. When you get a southwest wind, that's the kind of wind that begins to warm you up, and that's exactly what we begin to see as we move into the weekend. This is 2:30 Saturday. Temperatures will make it into the upper 30s, but we really begin to warm up. Here's the overall setup that we're going to see. A weak storm system towards the north sends some of that warmer air our direction. Strong southerly winds take over, especially into Sunday, folks, and while we're right on the edge I do believe this front will be just far enough that we will see the warmer temperatures here in south central Wisconsin. It might be a situation where closer towards the state line, you're the warmest. Once you work your way north of the Dells, those temperatures come in just a little bit cooler. But I want to show you how it plays out. This is Saturday afternoon. Temperatures make it into the mid and perhaps even upper 30s. We get you into Sunday afternoon and watch how these temperatures at this point begin to make it into the upper 40s. But check out Milwaukee at 50, Dubuque at 51, Rockford at 54. So like I said, we are going to be right on the line there of the overall picture as things begin to continue into the weekend. But with the warm-up and then a cool down to follow, we do have a storm system in between. So we're going to be watching Monday and Tuesday closely. That's when the clouds return back to the picture. We'll have chances for mainly rain, but with each of those, it's a situation where it could start as a little bit of a mix and end as a little bit of a mix as well. We'll be a little bit colder for your Wednesday and Thursday, but then the 40s come back by the time we get you towards the weekend. So if you want to count them, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Friday and Saturday, 50% of that forecast is 40s or warmer.
We like that.
Yeah. That's the trend as we go through the next couple of weeks.
What's the March? It's March on Sunday, so
yes, it is.
Getting there. All right, Chris, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
It is almost the weekend in the 608.
Our Josh Spreiter shares some of the best things going on around town this weekend.
Hi, Mark and Susan. Whether you're hoping to sample some good food, shop local, or take in a performance this weekend, look no further than the Overture. Saturday is one of its busiest days of the year, the International Festival. Performers from more than 50 countries and cultures will celebrate their heritage at the event. Although they come from different backgrounds, what makes this event unique is that they all call Dane County home. The festival centers around food, crafts, and performances. At the International Cafe, festival goers can sample foods from around the world. At the International Market, people can buy arts and crafts from the dozens of Madison area small businesses with global connections. And if you want to take in a show, more than 30 free performances are scheduled. On the University of Wisconsin-Madison campus, you can also brush off your iambic pentameter knowledge and take in a student production of William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Set in Rome in 44 BC, the play follows the moral dilemma of Brutus as he joins a conspiracy led by Cassius to murder Julius Caesar and prevent him from becoming dictator of Rome. The historic tragedy will be staged tonight through Sunday at the Vilas Hall Mitchell Theater. And back at the Overture Center on Saturday night, the legacy female a cappella group Sweet Honey in the Rock will celebrate its 45th anniversary. That group is deeply rooted in American or African American culture and helps educate, entertain, and empower through songs and sign language interpretation. Their performance coincides with the end of Black History Month. And then for something very different, return to the Overture Center on Sunday night for a live performance of the Mystery Science Theater 3000. Join the Peabody Award winner, show creator, and original host Joel Hodgson and the world's greatest and only movie rifling robots, Tom Servo, Crow, and Gypsy, as they take you on an exhilarating roller coaster ride through some of the cheesiest films ever made. This will be Joel's last tour, so if you want to see him in person, that show starts at 7. As always, be sure to pick up a copy of this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in our area, and of course we'll get you out the door with everything you need to know on News 3 Now this morning.
Josh, thank you. There's more to come at 4, including a UW doctor talking about what you should know about coronavirus.
And then coming up tonight at 5, we continue our coverage from Milwaukee. We'll share the latest updates on News 3 Now at 5.
Bring your family and friends to Monk's Bar and Grill, home of the mouth-watering half-pound ultimate Monk burgers. Try the Prime Nacho Burger, the Brisket Burger, the Alamo, or the Big Ten. Monk's Bar and Grill, serving up a good time since 1947.
Right now at Steinhafels, get $300 in Steinhafels Instant Bonus Cash and free delivery with any Tempur-Pedic mattress set. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. Steinhafels has the new Tempur-Breeze. With next-generation cooling technology, you'll sleep up to 8 degrees cooler all night long. So sleep cooler, get 0% financing, $300 in Steinhafels Bonus Cash, and free next-day delivery with a new Tempur-Breeze mattress set. Only at Steinhafels and Steinhafels Mattress.
Ish Monroe, Mark Zona, Pete Maynard, Tommy Kimo, and other fishing experts will be speaking at the Wisconsin Fishing Expo, February 28th through March 1st at the Exhibition Hall at the Alliant Energy Center. Same great show with a hot new look. Now with even more booths. New Kids Fishing Bingo for the first 500 kids per day. Over 300 booths. Hundreds of boats priced to sell. More gear and tackle than ever. Go to wifishingexpo.com for details. Kids 12 and under free.
Tax time blowout at American Freight. Low price match guarantee. We will not be undersold. Over 30 dinette sets from $98. 2 mattress sets any size from $298. 7-piece living room packages from $398. 8-piece queen size bedroom suits that include the mattress set from only $398. Take it home today for $50. No payments for 60 days. Free layaway till tax time. Same day delivery ends March 31st at the corner of North Stoughton and Kinsman Boulevard.
I love that one.
I love it.
I love them.
It's easy to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love this one too.
And the auto show is the perfect time to see why.
Wow.
I love it.
That's my next truck.
Use Auto Show Cash and find the many reasons to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love it. I'm going to go buy a Chevy.
Right now, get $1,000 Auto Show Cash on all 2020 Silverado 1500 pickups. That's on top of most other offers. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Bring your family and friends to Monk's Bar and Grill, home of the mouth-watering half-pound ultimate Monk burgers. Try the Prime Nacho Burger, the Brisket Burger, the Alamo, or the Big Ten. Monk's Bar and Grill, serving up a good time since 1947.
Tonight at 5, we're live from Milwaukee as the city mourns following the shooting at Molson Coors yesterday that left 5 workers dead. We'll have the very latest.
Cold weather will continue through Friday night. Then temperatures will climb to the upper 30s on Saturday and the upper 40s on Sunday. My News 3 Now First Warn forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, how Milwaukee businesses are reaching out and showing support for families who lost loved ones in yesterday's shooting. We'll have that and more tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Here's a live look downtown Madison, a sunny Thursday afternoon. A little chilly, but the sun helps. As coronavirus continues to make headlines, it's easy to get lost in the information.
Dr. Nasia Safdar, Medical Director of Infection Control and Prevention at UW Health, is with us tonight to help us try to make some sense of the virus and the current situation.
Doctor,
so
welcome.
good to see you.
Thank you.
Especially now. I'm sure you're busier than you've ever been, so we're very grateful that you took the time. So this situation is fluid and seems to be changing by the day. How worried do you think we should be here about coronavirus?
I think, in terms of the risk to the general public, I would say that's really low at this point. But I think for health systems and for the communities to prepare themselves for what might be our version of COVID-19 in our community, I think it's important to be prepared. So if it turns out we don't need to use all those preparedness efforts, wonderful. But we don't want to be caught in a situation where we have a number of cases and we don't quite know how to handle them.
How are you preparing?
So I think we look at it from 3 viewpoints. There's the space, the infrastructure, the healthcare worker force, and then the supplies. And so all of those things have to be aligned. And you have these tiered plans where you think about what happens if we see a handful of cases, what happens when we escalate, and what happens when we further need to escalate. So it needs to be able to account for all possible scenarios. And if we don't encounter all of them, wonderful. But that's what the preparedness is about.
And then there's an interesting situation in California where a person who did not travel to China and had no known contact with any carriers tested positive for the virus. So what is the significance of that specific case?
I think the importance of that is that it shows community transmission, and that isn't something that we've seen in this country at this point. We've seen it in other places. It just suggests the ease with which the virus can move from person to person, and if we don't have something in particular to anchor it with, such as exposure to a known case or travel, then we worry about how do we screen the general population, or how do we figure out if somebody has symptoms, is it this or is it any number of other viruses that are also circulating this time of year.
How should an individual prepare for themselves and their family?
I think the big things for this are just as you would for any other viral infectious condition. So you want to make sure that you have over-the-counter supplies ready in the event that you fall sick. You want to make sure you have adequate hand hygiene supplies, masks if necessary. Ideally, one should self-isolate in a setting where you're not exposing other people until you're well. And then respiratory etiquette, those are the things that we usually tell people to do, and it's no different in this case. Vaccination against influenza is always a valuable thing.
Do you think it's a matter of when, not if, with this?
I think so. I mean, I think just what we've seen globally is that viruses don't respect man-made boundaries, and if it's in some countries of the world, there's no reason to believe it wouldn't be here as well.
What are the symptoms? It's a respiratory
It is
event?
largely a respiratory condition. You might have fever, which might range from low grade to high grade. There's a cough usually. For people that have more severe symptoms, there might be shortness of breath, there might be symptoms of pneumonia, but generally it's very much like influenza.
So how do you know if it isn't influenza?
It's hard to tell. Thus far, what people have been doing is screening for travel and exposure, which have been the ways that we've determined is it more likely to be this versus influenza. Once it becomes widespread, there will be no way to tell besides testing people.
Well, and there are only several states that have the ability to do the testing. Are we one of them?
We do not yet have the testing available.
So
we send the tests to the CDC. I think it is. I mean, I know a number of entities and people are working on this, but certainly because we can't tell clinically whether it's COVID-19 or something else, it would be very valuable to have the test available so we could do it in a timely manner.
And it's a worldwide event is the other problem.
That's right, yeah.
So do you think the coverage of this is appropriate, or do you think it's borderline?
The news coverage?
Alarmist, yeah.
I think in some respects it is a little bit alarmist, but that may be because people in healthcare have been thinking about things like this for a long time and have gone through several other infectious conditions where we had to plan. But I can understand how the general public might be concerned when they see media reports that seem to suggest that we're in deep trouble at this point, which I don't think is accurate.
And Wall Street doesn't help that situation
That's
either.
right, yeah.
All right, well, wash your hands, be vigilant.
Be prepared. I mean, that's really the message. Get ready. Yeah, be prepared for anything.
Doctor, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
We'll be right back.
Grace. Of course, it's been a trusted brand for over 40 years, and now they're starting a brand new service. We have Tasha Robinson here joining us today. So, Age at Home by a Grace is what?
Age at Home by a Grace is a high-quality personal care program that specializes in housekeeping, companion care, running errands, a chore service.
And a Grace really has been compassionate end-of-life services for so long, but Age at Home is very different.
Age at Home is more personal care.
And I'm really excited. I have this fancy Age at Home shirt, so I get to play a caregiver today, and we're gonna go see Terry. What are some of the things that we need to help Terry with?
Today we're going to help Terry with a sandwich. He likes to have a sandwich prepared for him so that he can have it later on in the day. We also help remind him to take his medications. So those are the services we will provide for him today.
And you are hiring for those exact caregivers because you have a lot of people who are looking to have this service here in Dane County.
Yes, we are. We're always looking for caregivers. We have part-time hours, a very flexible schedule, and we have awesome clients to work with.
Tasha, who could benefit from a service like Age at Home?
Anyone in the community, anyone who needs personal care services, chore services. If you are just being discharged from the hospital and you need someone to come in and maybe make a bed for you, walk your dog, because we have pet services as well. If you need assistance with errands, we can do that. So anyone that needs help.
How are you at cards? Because I'm pretty competitive.
So am I.
Oh boy, here we go. If you are looking for any personal or companion care, please keep Age at Home by a Grace in mind. I'm Emmy Fink, and you're buzzed into Madison.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure, and trust your heart to Entresto.
All right, happy Thursday evening. Let's go ahead and show you guys how traffic is beginning to shape up. This is the Beltline of Fish Hatchery. Things are moving along, but we are certainly starting to see that traffic volume increase as would be expected with the Thursday evening. Also, this just now popped up within the moments of the commercial break ending and coming over to the screen here, but there is an accident showing up on the Beltline once you get just past John Nolan and continue towards Monona. So this may create more delays, especially as you work your way in the westbound direction. We already have delays backing all the way up as you work your way over towards Whitney and Verona Road. Right now, some of those slowest speeds are down to about 20 miles per hour. That's 30 miles per hour or 34 miles per hour under that speed limit at 55. Then we jump our way down towards campus. So here we are where Gorham turns into University. Then you have West Johnson as you work your way right around that Park Street intersection, and there are certainly lots of brake lights being tapped there. Also westbound or eastbound on Regent Street approaching Park. You are certainly tapping the brakes in those locations too. Right now, that slowest route is our typical slowest route. That's the Beltline eastbound from Verona Road to John Nolan. That's taking you about 10 minutes right now with an average speed of 25 miles per hour.
All right, Chris, thank you. We want to go back to Milwaukee now, where a press conference about a shooting at Molson Coors wrapped up in the last half hour.
Our Madeline O'Neill has been covering this story since it started yesterday afternoon, and she joins us now from Milwaukee. Hi, Madeline. What did we learn in the news conference?
Hi, Mark and Susan. Yeah, this press conference just wrapping up here at the department. It's the first time we've heard from police since 9 o'clock last night. So we're learning more about both the shooter and the victims in this case. Now, Police Chief Alfonso Morales is saying that 51-year-old Anthony Farrell of Milwaukee is responsible for this shooting. Investigators have been searching what's believed to be his residence. It's surrounded by crime tape that's over near the 8,000 block of Potomac Avenue. Police confirm Farrell was a current employee who they say shot and killed 5 fellow workers yesterday afternoon. We're also learning the names of those victims today. That includes Jesse Valle Jr., who was 33 years old, Gennady Levshetz, 51, Trevor Wetzelar, 33 years old, Dana Walk, who was 57, and Dale Hudson, who was 50. Police are asking the public respect their family's privacy. At the same time, Mayor Tom Barrett asks the community to come together to support them during this really difficult time. Now, during the press conference, police didn't take any questions, wouldn't speculate on any possible motive, saying the investigation is ongoing. Coming up at 5, we'll have another update and more on what Molson Coors leaders are saying today.
It's a time for healing for the city and the entire state. Maddie reporting live from Milwaukee. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline.
And we'll be right back with a final check your forecast.
Take an extra day to save at Ashley Home Store's 72-hour Leap Day sale. Get our biggest discount store-wide. Line up early Saturday for a free gift. Save up to 70% off doorbusters throughout the store. Plus a bonus 20% off our sale prices at checkout. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
This is a story of the American dream. It starts here, in a middle-class neighborhood with a middle-class kid named Mike. When his father died, his mother went to work and became the breadwinner. She instilled in Mike a belief in hard work and a drive to build a better life. So he started a company from scratch with an idea and endless hours. Today, that makes him the only Democrat in the race who's created 20,000 jobs. He's the only Democrat who's run the largest and most diverse city in America, rebuilding after 9/11, creating over 450,000 jobs and expanding health care coverage to 700,000 people. The only Democrat who's built a grassroots movement to combat gun violence, and he's a leader combating climate change. The only Democrat who's never taken a penny from special interests. Now Mike is running to deliver on the American dream for everyone with common sense solutions and the ability to get it done, because Mike Bloomberg is the only Democrat who can take on Trump, and Trump knows it.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Get the full picture of your health coverage with the iCare Medicare plan. Plus, as a member, you'll get even more benefits at zero additional cost and $0 premium. Don't wait. Call now to learn more about the iCare Medicare plan.
Take an extra day to save during the last stretch of the Mattress Marathon at Ashley Home Store's 72-hour Leap Day sale. Save up to 70% off doorbuster mattresses during this final week, including our best deal of the year on brands like Tempur-Pedic and iComfort. Leap Day weekend only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Setting the stage for the visually impaired.
Lights are dimming. The story takes place in Georgia.
The voice behind Overture Center's live audio description and how the service is enriching the theater experience for those in need.
It enhances it immensely.
Tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Hi, folks. Friday morning, Hattie's looking ahead to another weekend warm-up in her first WARN forecast.
And these drawings will soon come to life. We'll take you live inside the new Penny Library for a sneak peek ahead of its grand opening.
We'll see you at 4:30.
Chris is back. One more chilly day.
Yeah, that's going to be tomorrow. Tonight's going to be fairly chilly as well. We're going to see those overnight lows falling down to 11 degrees. I can't rule out a few flurries southwest of Madison, but for most of us, I do believe the flurry activity should be done. Now, tomorrow we'll see more sunshine, but we stay cold. Winds continue to blow out of the north and west, keeping the colder air around. We'll see those highs top out right around 27. So those jackets are needed for at least another day, maybe two. But Sunday will be close to 50.
It's still winter.
It is still winter,
All
yes.
right, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Tomorrow here on Live at 4, Charles Franklin will break down the latest numbers in his Marquette Law School poll.
And our Michael Bruno goes backstage at Chaplin, being performed this weekend at Parker High School in Janesville. That's all coming up tomorrow on Live at 4.
It's the Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. During this event, we have plussed our new Ram inventory. And you can save over $14,000 off. Plus, get no payments for 90 days. Plus, $500 more for your trade. It's the Auto Show Plus event going on now at Russ Darrow Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
You know who really loves fresh food? Amateur chefs, stay-at-home parents, salad lovers, barbecuers, smorgasborders, hors d'oeuvres, fondue-ers, and flambeurs, midnight snackers, brown baggers, bakers, and throw it in the microwavers. At Pick and Save, you can get all the fresh you want at a great price with same-day pickup and delivery. Because we believe in fresh for everyone.
My psoriatic arthritis pain, I had enough. It's not getting in my way.
Joint pain, swelling, tenderness, much better.
My psoriasis, clearer. Cosentix works on all of this.
4 years and counting. So watch out. I got this.
Watch me.
Real people with active psoriatic arthritis are feeling real relief with Cosentix. Cosentix is a different kind of targeted biologic. It treats the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis to help you look and feel better. It even helps stop further joint damage. Don't use it if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
I just look and feel better.
I got real relief with Cosentix.
Watch me.
Feel real relief. Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
He's been around the world, but he desires more. He's seen it all. It's always what you think's tough. Right there all the time.
With over 40 fully integrated applications, you won't be able to contain your excitement either. From just $1 a day per employee, run your entire business with Zoho One, the operating system for business.
It's the Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. Buy a popular SUV for only $225 per month. We have a Cherokee, plus a Ford Escape, plus a Kia Sorento. It's your choice and it's just $225 a month. Visit Russ Darrow Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram during our Auto Show Plus event.
In today's Final Touch, you could have a chance to spend a night inside an elephant.
Lucy the elephant, that is. Lucy's a famous National Historic Landmark, a fun roadside attraction at the Jersey Shore. She's been around for 138 years. Starting March 8th, Airbnb will list Lucy the elephant for rent for March 17th, 18th, or 19th. You'll have to keep an eye on the listings to book it for $138. The lucky guests will have